Yours might look a little bit different when you get done, and that's okay because roses are all different, right? They don't all have to look the same. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to draw it pretty large on my paper, and I'm going to have my paper turned horizontally. It doesn't really matter to me which direction you have your paper turned, but if you want to be like me, that's what you need to do. Okay? And I'm going to kind of draw just like a little shape kind of like this, okay, to start with. Because actually this is going to be the center part of my rose. So I'm going to draw a couple of lines here. Do you have any eraser? There's one by my computer if you want to come up and grab it. Okay. Then I'm going to draw a line that kind of curves around right here. Come down. And I'm going to draw the ruffly petal edge to this. Okay. It's going to actually be kind of like that. And then back behind here, I'm going to draw another petal shape. It's just going to come around like this, and then this bottom edge is going to be kind of ruffly. Okay. Right now I'm just getting big shapes, and I'm going to come back and get small details. So right here, I'm going to draw another petal like that. And then I'll draw another one like that. I'm going to just draw a few little triangle points sticking out in a few other places. Now yours don't have to be exactly the same as mine. With roses, it's actually a lot more forgiving than you would think. You know, you would think, oh, I have to have it exactly right. You actually don't at all. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a few more details. Like right here, I want to add just that pretty edge that's folded over of my rose petal. So I'm going to just add a little detail right there. Make it come back around on this side. So you can add kind of a pretty edge on this side too, if you want to. And then I'm going to add just a few little details on the inside. Just make it look like there's a few more petals in there. And I'm going to erase this line where I don't need it anymore. You can adjust your shapes a little bit if you want to. I think I'll adjust my shape right here. So there's my basic rose shape. Now what I want to do is I want to start adding in some detail. So I'm going to add in some shading. Anytime I have an edge that's curving around, I'm going to add just a little bit of a shadow there so that it looks like it's turning. Also, right next to that edge, it's overlapping another petal, so I'm going to make it dark right there. I'm going to make it go dark and fade to lighter. See how it kind of starts to look more dimensional in there? So you can use the edge of your pencil and get your shading done a little bit more quickly and easily if you want to. Anywhere you have like some overlapping, add shadow. Here we have an edge that's curving, so I'm going to put a little shadow there. And a little shadow on this edge. Is the center starting to look more three-dimensional now? So right here, I'm going to add a little bit of a shadow here. It's curling inward. And then I think on this very outside edge, I'm going to add a little bit of a shadow too, because it's kind of curling around the other direction, right? I'm sorry, what? I have a school website. Yeah. It's the school's website that I have a page on. So it'll be on the website when I get a chance to edit it. Nobody really wants to watch a 20-minute long video, so I chop them down a little bit. So right here where they're overlapping, I'm going to put a dark shadow there. Put a dark shadow where the petals overlap. Just a little bit of shading on the outside edge just to make that petal look like it's turning. This is going to be a real dark area back in here. When you get to these bottom petals that are really overlapped several times, make those shadows of the overlap pretty nice and dark so they look even further away. And I don't know if you guys noticed this, but I'm using my finger to smudge the shading a little bit. I'll make the dark shadow, and then I want to fade it out, so I just use my finger to smudge it. If you get a smudge where you don't want to have a smudge, like right here, just erase your smudge. If you do that, though, you have to be a little bit careful, because see all the dark stuff that's on my fingers? If I start touching my paper, then I leave fingerprints. So you got to be careful if you're using your fingers to smudge. Okay, I'm going to turn it so I can get to this part a little easier. It's kind of weird when it's upside down. So just anywhere where you still need a little shadow, just add those in there. Use your shading to kind of mold your flower, like wherever you want it to look like it's curling under. Use your shading to help you understand how that petal is moving in space. Okay, once you have your basic rose done, this is nice and everything, but it's kind of just a weird little rose floating in space, you know? So it's kind of strange, even though it's got some good things going for it. I see students do this kind of thing all the time, and they just kind of stop there. They don't really do anything else with it. And so it's a cool drawing, but it looks like there's something missing. So what I'm going to do is sharpen my pencil real quick, and I'm going to start adding some leaves and things. So I'm just going to draw like some indications of leaves. Okay, and obviously leaves are going to be a pretty dark value, I think, compared to a rose. I suppose it depends on what sort of rose you have, but I'm going to shade in my leaves a darker value. And I'll make it a really dark value where the stem is, because that kind of makes a difference. And I usually kind of do one side a little bit darker than the other, it seems like. Not a lot, but a little. Just to kind of give it some dimension. So just drawing some leaves. Now if you want to take time and make them look really detailed, leaves on rose bushes have kind of a jagged edge. So you can sketch in that jagged edge to make it look a little more realistic and detailed. So just kind of fill in, make it look a little more interesting, make it not quite so boring. I'm not going to finish my whole page. I'm going to stop here, I think, so I can come around and see how you guys are doing. But fill in with your leaves and other details, and that'll make your picture look a lot more finished.